It was early on a Sunday morning in October. 4 months had passed since Tess had gone to work at Trantridge. Now she was walking up the hill towards Marlotte. She was carrying a heavy basket in one hand and a bundle containing the rest of her things in the other hand. At the top of the hill, Tess looked down on Blackamoor Vale and the village of Marlotte. The vale always looked beautiful from the top of the hill, but it was even more beautiful today since she had last seen her home. Tess's life had changed. She was not the same innocent girl who had left Marlotte in June. She had learned about wickedness. She had learned about the wicked way that rich men treat weak country girls. Tess heard a noise and turned to look behind her. A hearse and gig was coming up the hill, and the driver was walking beside the tiled house. The tiled hearse. The man held up one of his hands and waved at Tess. She waited for him to reach her. "Why did you leave the slope secretly, Tess?" Alec d'Urberville asked her. "Nobody will stop you leaving, if that's what you want. I have been driving fast to catch you. Just look at my poor horse." "I won't come back to your farm," she said. "That is what I thought," Alec said. "We'll get into the gig and I will drive you home." Alec d'Urberville helped Tess up into the gig. She sat beside him without speaking. After a few minutes, they saw the village of Marlotte. Tess began to cry. Tears ran down her cheeks. "Why are you crying?" d'Urberville asked in a cold voice. "That village is my home. It's where I was born." "We are all born somewhere," he replied. "I wish that I would never been born there or anywhere else," said Tess. "I wish that I hadn't been born at all." "So why did you come to work in Trantridge?" "Not because you loved me, I know that." "That's true," she said. "If I loved you, I would not hate myself for my weakness. And I do hate myself. I hate what you did to me. I hate what we did, but I didn't understand what you were going to do until it was too late." "Every woman says that she doesn't understand until it's too late," Alex said. "But they don't mean the words that they say." "Some women don't mean what they say," Tess said angrily. He laughed. "All right, I am sorry. I will pay you money. You will never have to work again. You can have clothes. I will never take anything from you," she said. "Never." "Well, my dear cousin," Alex said, "I suppose that I am a bad person. I was born bad. I have lived bad, and I will probably die bad. But I won't be bad to you again, Tess, and if you are in trouble or if you need anything, write to me. I am going to London for a time." Tess didn't want Alec to take her into the village. She got down from the gig and stood at the side of the road. "Let me kiss you, my dear," Alec said. "If you want to," she said coldly. Alec d'Urberville leaned down and kissed her. Then he said, "Cousin Tess, don't be sad. You are more beautiful than any woman in the country, and oh, will you come back with me, please? Never, she replied. Then goodbye, cousin who I have known for 4 months, he said. Then he turned the horse and drove off. Tess didn't watch him go. She walked on alone until she reached her parents' house. She went inside. She went inside the cottage and saw her mother coming down the stairs. It was very early in the morning, and her father, brothers and sisters were still in their beds. "Tess," her mother said, kissing her, "how are you? Are you going to be married to your cousin?" "No, mother," Tess said. "Alec d'Urberville is not going to marry me." Her mother looked closely at her daughter's face. "You haven't told me everything." So Tess told her mother that the d'Urbervilles of Trantridge were not members of their family. Alec's father was called Stokes, and he had taken their name, d'Urberville, for himself. Then Tess told her mother what had happened on the chase 4 months ago. She told her how Alec had made love to her on that dark, foggy night. John d'Urberville listened. Then she said, "And you have not made him marry you? Any woman would do that. Perhaps any woman except me. Didn't you think about us, the d'Urbervilles? The d'Urbervilles could help us." "Should I make Alec d'Urberville marry me?" thought Tess. "He has never spoken about marriage, and if he does, then my answer is no. Then my answer will be no. I have never loved him, and I don't love him now. I don't hate him, but I won't marry him." "Why did you let Mr. d'Urberville make love to you?" asked her mother suddenly. "Oh, mother," said Tess, "I was a child when I left this house 4 months ago. I was an innocent young girl. Why didn't you tell me about the dangers that in I would find in the world? Why didn't you warn me about men?" That afternoon, some of the village girls came to visit Tess. Laughing and talking with her friends made Tess feel happier. But the next morning she lay in bed and thought about her future. She was no longer a maiden. Who would marry her now? "I want to die," she thought. One Sunday morning, a few weeks later, Tess went to the church in Marlotte. She loved she loved to hear the hymns, and to sit quietly while the parson said the prayers. She sat in a seat at the back of the church, but people turned their heads to look at her, and they began whispering about her. Tess knew that she could not come to the church again. The villagers had heard what had happened to Tess. It was now August. Although it was early in the morning, the hot, bright sun shone down on the field of corn where a group of men and women worked. They were harvesting the corn that had been growing in the field all summer. The harvesting machine was cutting the stalks of corn, and the farm workers were picking up the stalks and tying them into bundles. The men and women wore hats to protect their heads and faces from the strong sun. They wore gloves to protect their hands from the sharp stalks of the corn. One young woman wore a pink jacket. She was the prettiest girl walking the field. but her bonnet almost hid her face. Every 30 minutes, every 30 minutes, she stopped working and rested. Then, when she had made sure that her hat was right over her head, she started working again. The young woman was Tess Durbeyfield. Since Tess had turned to Marlowe from Chantridge, she had changed, and her life had changed. She now had a child, and she was working in the fields to earn a little money. Tess and the other farm workers made corn bundles all morning. At 11 o'clock, a group of children came over the hill and down into the field. The eldest girl carried a baby in her arms. Another child was carrying some food and drink. The men and women stopped working and sat on the ground to eat their meal. She sat a few feet away from the others. She called to the girl, who was her sister Lizelle, and took the baby from her. Then Tess opened her dress and began to feed her baby. The baby finished feeding, and Tess played with him for a little time. Then she began kissing him. She kissed him so many times that he began to cry. Lisa Lou took the baby home again, and Tess and the other workers continued harvesting until it was almost dark. When they had finished working, the harvesters rode home on a large wagon. As the hearse slowly pulled the heavy wagon along the road, the farm workers sang songs about the harvest. When Tess reached home, she discovered that her baby was very ill. The child had always been small and weak, but Tess was shocked that he was not ill now. But Tess was shocked that he was so ill now. Then she remembered that her baby had not been baptized in a church. The baby boy would go to hell if he died before a priest welcomed him into a Christian church. Tess asked her father if the person could come to the house, but Jack Dorberfield refused. He would not let any of the children go and get the priest. No, I will not let any person come inside my house, he said. I don't want him to know how my daughter has been ruined. I don't want the person to know about this family's shame. And he locked the door. During the night, Tess's son became weaker and weaker. The baby was dying. Tess walked up and down the room, praying for her child. Suddenly she had an idea. Perhaps my baby can be saved from hell, she thought. She lit a candle and filled a bowl with water. Then she woke her little sisters and brothers. She made them go down onto their knees to pray. Are you going to baptize the baby yourself? asked Lizalo. What are you going to call him? Tess had not thought about that. But now a name came into her head. Sorrow, she said. I'm going to name my son Sorrow. Sorrow, I baptize you. Then she put some water on the child's head. She spoke the rest of the words that she could remember of the Christian baptism ceremony. In the morning, the child Sorrow died.